of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol.
The NFL schedule dropped, and it's time to settle up. There's road trips to plan, hotels to book, tickets to split, tailgates to cover, scores to settle, all the things for the season. But now, when you send $10 or more to a friend with PayPal by May 28th, you could win 2 tickets to every home game of your favorite team. Yep, the whole season. Visit paypal.com/P2P sweeps. No purchase necessary. See website for details, including how to enter by mail. Brought to you by PayPal, official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When you're craving a juicy, made-to-order burger with all your favorite toppings, it's time to head to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Fresh, never-frozen, hand-formed patties, crispy, fresh-cut fries, savory hot dogs, and topped off with an ice-cold real milkshake. Five Guys knows what you like. Come and get it in Huntsville on North Parkway and on Enterprise, and in Madison on Moonshot Drive and Highway 72. Order online at fiveguys.com or just walk in. Five Guys. Perfection every time.
At Kern Electrical, we're more than just a Generac generator dealer. We're your partners in ensuring your home or business never loses power, especially when it matters most. Call 256-880-1880 today or visit gensuperstore.com for reliable power solutions that work when you need them most.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Before you build, know the ground beneath you. OMI Incorporated has been North Alabama's trusted name in geotechnical engineering for over 30 years. We provide subsurface investigations, environmental consulting, and construction materials testing to keep your project moving forward with confidence. Commercial, industrial, and public projects, OMI has the experience to get it right. OMI Incorporated. Experience below the surface. Visit OMI-ENG.com or call 256-837-7664.
Your home of the SEC Baseball Tournament. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is a Monday edition of The Drive, and this is our only show of the week, scheduled. Now, weather permitting, we'll try to squeeze in the SEC baseball tournament beginning tomorrow morning with a pregame set for 9:15 tomorrow morning. We'll also have coverage on Wednesday morning beginning at 9:15 as well. The Auburn Tigers are the 6th seed. The Alabama Crimson Tide are the 4 seed. But as I mentioned, Auburn, the 6th seed, and they will take on the winner of LSU and, let me back this up 1 second. It is LSU and Oklahoma that will play the late game tomorrow. And Coach Gabe Gross, kind enough to join us before his team makes that trek over to Hoover. What do you say, Coach? How are you today?
I'm doing great. Seems like summer finally got here today.
It did.
It is hot down here in Auburn, Alabama.
It is definitely someone turned on to the humidity in a big, big way here in North Alabama as well.
Ain't no kind of hot like a wiregrass hot, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So
here, let me, at least from the notes that I was given by the worldwide leader, this is the description of the Auburn Tigers. Auburn has looked exactly like last season. This year, the Tigers finished with the same record and earned the 6th seed. So you tell me, how much of this year does mirror last year?
I would disagree pretty hardly with that assessment, but we got there in different ways. We rode the back of some really great pitching for most of the year. Offense scuffled a little bit early and then has kind of found its footing a little later on in the year. Had some, we're really young offensively and not that old on the mound. I mean, most of the guys that are doing the heavy lifting for us are sophomores. You look at Andres Alvarez and Marciano and Sanders, and Petrovic's a year older as a junior. L.J. Cormier is a freshman. Ryan Hetzler's a junior. So we're not really old anywhere. Our lineup's got 3 freshmen, 3 sophomores, a couple of juniors, and a senior in it most days. So it's a young team, but they've kind of took their lumps and we figured out how to win some games, and we've relied more on the pitching strength this year, I think, really than we did last year, where it was a little more offensive. Even though we've become a little more offensive later, last year that was kind of, Ike Irish was leading the charge, and Cooper McMurray and Eric Snow, and then those 3 freshmen with Bub and Chris and Chase Fralick as well. And now those guys are those sophomores have really been asked to carry the weight of being the man in the middle of the lineup.
Well, so far Bub is one of my all-name guys. I mean, tell me a little bit more about Bub and what he has brought to the lineup other than some pop there in the bat.
Well, I think he's just a guy that he's so dangerous, no matter the stuff, lefty or righty, that he could really touch somebody at any point in time. And I think as a pitcher facing him, it's tough because he might swing and miss at one, and you think, man, he's really fooled, and then you throw him the same thing, and he could hit it out of the ballpark. He's learned how to make adjustments as the season goes on. He does have a little swing and miss in his swing, but he's learned what pitchers are doing to him and how to make adjustments. And he's just, this whole year, he has just quietly become a more dependable, more consistent, better and better player. And that's at the plate, and he's one of the better outfielders in our league as well.
Was there, because I know the amount of ranked wins that you guys have, Coach, but was there a turning point that you think that this team has had, or you tell me?
Yeah, I don't know that I could point. I could point to a couple of different things. I mean, the low point for our season was undoubtedly after the Alabama series. We went to Tuscaloosa and just didn't perform at all. We pitched we pitched well 2 games, but we didn't hit in any of the 3 of the games and got swept. And it started to turn around right after that. I think Arkansas or Kentucky right after that, and we won the series. And then whoever it wasn't, Arkansas or Kentucky, the other one was the next weekend, and we won that series, and it just started trickling up. But I think the Florida series, we go down to Gainesville. Their pitching is really, really strong. It's a tough place to win, and we go down early on Sunday with a series split and have to battle back. And Bub you're talking about Bub. He looked like he was swatting flies most of the weekend, and I've actually had to pull him out of a game. He was like 0 for 6, I think, at one point with 5 or 6 straight strikeouts, and then came back out on Sunday and hit a home run late that tied the game up. And when we tied the game up, I think, collectively the Florida team was like, oh no, and our team just knew we were going to win, and we wound up winning that game. Wound up scoring, I think, 5 runs, won 8-3 or maybe 8-4, I can't remember. And 8-3. I thought that just gave us a ton of confidence moving forward. Came home, beat Oklahoma, and then on the road to beat A&M and Mississippi State in series. And that was, that was a tough stretch. That's a lot of good baseball teams, and we were fortunate to play well and get some wins, and our guys start to really gain confidence in themselves.
Well, I'm also seeing big numbers here lately. What have you liked about your offense here lately? I know 2 out of the 3 certainly scored enough to beat Georgia, but of course only got that 1 win in the last game of the regular season.
Well, I just think you've got some guys, like I said, the different roles that have had to come about this year. Number one, we got 3 freshmen. One's a redshirt, but Brandon McCrane got redshirted. Been our shortstop most of the year. Didn't play at all last year, so he's had to learn the ropes this year. You got his brother Mason, who's become an everyday player for us as a true freshman. Who am I missing? Why did I just go blank on my my 3rd freshman? I'll think of it. Bingaman, Ethan Bingaman. Excuse me. He might be the best one of the trio as far as the year he's had. But all 3 of those early had to figure out how to perform in the SEC, and they got hit in the mouth a little bit, and they've come on. And then our 3 sophomores that were so good as freshmen last year, Bub Chase and Chris Rembert, they were covered a little bit last year by Ike Irish and by Cooper McMurray. Those Ike and Cooper were kind of the center points of our lineup. Well, this year it was them, and it took a little while, I think, for them to adjust to that, how they were getting pitched, figuring out that nobody was going to challenge them with fastballs. They were going to have to learn how to hit some softer pitches, especially with runners in scoring position, and expect that, and how to combat being the man, so to speak. So I just think it took a little while for us to gather our footing, and hey, we're still growing and learning. This season is never really complete, and you never feel totally satisfied on where you are. But we've had some great leadership. Eric Guevara has been a great leader for us, and so has Lucas Steele, even though he's had limited at bats. Bub, I think, has stepped up as a leader. Chase Fralick. All these guys have had to learn how to take on some expanded roles as the season has gone on, and it's just kind of helped us merge here late.
So who do you think's the hottest team in the Southeastern Conference?
Yeah, it'd be hard to say it's not Georgia. They won the whole thing and obviously just beat us at home 2 out of 3, and they won 2 close games, and then we won big going away on Sunday. But they're a good baseball team. They've got a couple of really good arms. Their first two guys, and a couple of good arms out of the pen as well. They can stick it on you, and their offense is well written about. That is, they hit the ball out of the ballpark as good as any team in college baseball, and so it'd be hard to say that they're not as well positioned to go on a run as anybody.
What do you think about ABS entering into the tournament here?
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting how different teams go about who's able. We let everybody just challenge whatever they want to. Do you use it just as your catcher to try to get more strikes? Who do you trust in the lineup that really has a good eye that coming back doesn't always say that wasn't a strike, man. It wasn't a strike. You look at it and like, yeah, that's a strike, buddy. I'm sorry, but you got to figure out who you trust. It always bothers me from the offensive side of things. The zone's going to be a little bigger than the plate. Instead of 17 inches at the plate, they're going to give it 19 inches. And, my thoughts, you're going to call it 19 inches. Why don't you make the plate 19 inches and just call the plate? But it'll be interesting. I think the college game is trying to mirror the professional game. I think the professional game wants that. More and more players are choosing the college route instead of the high school to professional route. And I think the professional, I think Major League Baseball wants the college game to mirror it as closely as possible. So we're developing guys that are closer to the big leagues when they come out of college. I think at the end of the day, that's what they want. And this is probably another step in that direction.
From a teaching aspect, though, yeah, this has been really intriguing to follow, at least on the major league level, of who is calling it when, and I've rarely seen it implemented more than one at bat, especially when somebody loses a challenge. I would imagine, a month into this, that there was a lot of homework done in terms of when to challenge, how to challenge, of just more or less just realizing how important these are because of the importance of the tournament, Coach. Yeah, and you're gonna, it's all that goes into play. It's strike one and there's nobody on with two outs. Do you really want to challenge that call? Do you want to wait till there's a big moment and you think your pitcher struck a guy out and you get a ball called? That's probably the one you want to look at, or a slider you think was off with the bases loaded and two outs, and that's a time to challenge a call. I mean, you hate to lose one of those early in a situation that, a situation that's not really meaningful, and it's tough because the coaches don't get to challenge, and so it's the players that challenge. It's the pitcher, it's the catcher, and the hitter that can challenge, and trying to educate extremely young men on when the best time to do that is. And especially because they hadn't been doing it all year. This is kind of a shoot, ready, aim type deal going on in this tournament. So I'm sure everybody will do it somewhat a little differently, and we'll see how it stacks up. Reading quite a bit about your second baseman there, and Chris Rembert, of what he has done in terms of value moving forward. And I know the focus is on this SEC tournament, but what kind of value you think Chris has put himself in a very nice situation with the Major League Baseball draft? Yeah, Chris is such a unique player. He's just so quick twitch. His bat speed is really at a top level. He plays good defense. He made a play, against Georgia, where we overthrew a bunt and hit the brick wall down our right field line, and he chased it from second base, turned and did like a Jeter jump throw back to second to get the base runner who had wheeled. And he's just kind of a freak. He's just kind of a freak athlete. He can run, he can defend. The home runs have been down a little year. I think he's had a little bit for him. I think even though he's hitting 340 or so, I think he would tell you he's not had the year he's wanted to have. And that just, to me, speaks to even how good of a player he is, that he feels like, and I do too, I feel like there has been more in the tank, and it may still come. But he has found a way, when he didn't have his kind of ace swing a lot of this year, he has found a way to still hit 340 and even higher than that in our league. I think he's hit 360 or 370 in the league. Jeez. And has just been a tremendous player and so steady. When whatever Chris can run from home to first, when he hits the baseball, that's what he runs. There's no, I feel sorry for myself, I'm going to jog this one out, or I don't feel like running today. He is in full gear every day, every play. And that is, that's the kind of young man you love to coach. Well, size up the LSU-Oklahoma matchup. Well, how do you think that is going to look like? It really depends on who each side seems to pitch, how much Oklahoma values the win. LSU's got to win it. They got to win the whole tournament. And so I know they started stacking their pitching up to try to do that this past weekend. So they're going to come out, and every game is game 7 to them. If they lose, their season's over, and I think they know it. Will Oklahoma feel the same way? Do they feel like there's a lot to be gained for them? Who will they pitch? Cameron Johnson is probably the biggest risk-reward arm for them.
Young man throws in the mid to upper 90s with about 20 inches of run on his baseball that is extremely hard to hit.
Damn.
Sometimes he has hard times controlling it and can walk some people, but do they bump him up to try to face LSU? Do they not? There's a lot of different avenues that their coaches will have to explore to see how they try to win that game, and we'll just see. We'll be up there. I think we're going to go to the game and watch it. It'll be interesting to see who LSU pitches. Oklahoma pitches, and then what LSU would try to do to win the game, and who's left to face us on either side the next day.
Overall, competitiveness-wise, now that the regular season is done, it looks like, once again, another gauntlet. But you tell me from your perspective, how competitive was the SEC this year?
Yeah, I don't. You may people may disagree with me. I don't know that I've been through the league as strong as I thought it was this year. I don't know that there's a team that was like 22 Tennessee, where it just was just unbelievably dominant. Maybe even 21 Vanderbilt. I think it was 21 Vanderbilt. It was 21 or 19. No, it was 19.
19, yeah.
Yeah, 19 Vanderbilt. Those teams were just so dominant. But, you look at the pitching of Texas, our staff, second to none as far as that is concerned as well. The offenses of Georgia and A&M and Mississippi State, I think there's, who knows who's going to win Omaha. I mean, Georgia Tech's a great team. UCLA's a great team. North Carolina, there's others. But I feel like in our league, there's probably 5 or 6 teams that, could legitimately win the whole thing. And nobody, I know I'm in Auburn, but nobody talks about how quiet of a great year that Alabama had up there and their pitching staff and what they did the year Tyler Fay had. And they've just quietly racked up, I can't remember where they finished, 4th in the league.
Fourth.
Or something
They're
like
the 4th seed. That's right.
They're probably going to be a national, seed and host regionals and supers and just, I mean, this league is just, it's like it every year. I'm sure there's been other years that have been like this as well, but it is just it's an unbelievable gauntlet to go through, and we just feel like we come up out of the water and took a breath, and our reward for that is to go to Hoover and face them all again for another week. Here we go, baby. Let's roll it on.
Well, I know one of Bama's biggest problems was the errors, and it seems like as soon as they've cleaned that up, it has really elevated their momentum here down the last few games. But honestly, you're one of those teams where Omaha is in the conversation.
Well, we start every year. Coach Thompson always talks about that if he and we didn't dream the biggest dream, then we shouldn't be here. And so, we have hopes, we have dreams, we have expectations of playing good baseball. And if we play good baseball, I think this team has shown that we can beat anybody. I think of the top 5 or 6 teams in our league. You look at Texas and A&M and Mississippi State and Florida, and who would I be missing? There's one other one, Bama.
Mm-hmm.
I think we beat half of them, and then half of them beat us. We won the series against A&M. We won against Mississippi State. We won against Florida. Alabama got us. Texas got us, and Georgia got us. I didn't mention Georgia. So,
yeah.
But we were close games. We win by just a little bit. They win by just a little bit. I mean, we're right there with the best in the country. And if you're right there with the best in our league, then you're right there with the best in the country. And then now it comes down to executing. It comes down to the whims of baseball, and does the ball get through a hole or does it not? Do you beat a ball out? Does the sac fly just go far enough? Does the umpire give you the right call at the right time? Now it becomes who can execute something at a little higher level in a game, because you're matched equally as far as talent is concerned across the board, and you need to get hot. You need to have a lucky bounce, and you'll see what happens.
How much Major League Baseball have you watched so far, Coach?
I think I've seen 4 or 5 pitches. To be honest,
that sounds about right.
I mean, it has been a grind, boys. I have not looked up. I mean, every time we get through playing a series and we win a series, it's like, whoa, that was awesome. Oh, we play A&M on the road next, so that's great. So, I haven't watched Major League Baseball. My son, who's actually sitting next to me right now, has kept me updated. I know the Braves got off to a hot start and they had the series for a month or so, and the Dodgers are going to be great, as I'm assuming, as well. And somebody told me that everybody in the NL Central was over 500. So I know that, and then beyond that, that's it.
Oh, well, I was really going to just the ABS. I've really just kind of leaned into. I didn't know how I'd feel about it, but it is. It's a welcome change, and I'm really curious to see that dynamic in Hoover this week in particular. That's really intriguing to me.
Well, it is. The college game, I was surprised they did it because, the college game, most people want more strikes called. They don't want longer games. They don't want the huge scores. They want more strikes called. And at the same time, they're trying to get the game like the professional game. And so I thought it was an interesting take. My first thought was this is going to be rough on the umpires because they haven't been held to that standard publicly yet. And then I heard they were going to, the margins were going to increase a little bit up, down, and left, right, which I think is probably the way they should have done it. Even though I have a little bit of a problem with that, from the offensive side of things, but that's the way college baseball has been called, and it doesn't really need to change that. If you called it as strictly as Major League Baseball, it would be a ton of walks, and you're still dealing with amateur baseball, albeit the highest level of amateur baseball. And so, like I said, it'll be interesting, especially the calls coming from the players and how each team chooses to do that. Who gets the green light that if you think something was wrong to challenge it? Is it pitchers? Is it catchers? And who do you trust with the bat in their hand to not burn one on something that wasn't really there?
Well, we had a conversation with your athletic director, and he loves watching you guys' arms. And honestly, of what I've seen, boy, you've got quite the stable of arms. Does having that level of arms help you batting wise at all during a season, or you tell me?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, we can look at all kind of different metrics on what it takes to win games or the amount of runs you need to score, but truly at the end of the day, the offensive job is to score one more run than we give up, and the pitching job, defense job, is to allow one less run than we score. And so, going into a game knowing that if we can score 3-4 runs, that we're going to have an excellent chance to win a baseball game, it does. It takes some pressure off. I mean, if you go in knowing that you're going to have to score 7, 8, 9 runs to give yourself a chance, that's pressure. And so going in knowing that we need to scratch and claw, and if we can figure out how to score 3 or 4 runs, and then once we do that, we can just keep adding on. That our pitching staff's going to, more games than not, are going to give us a chance to win. That's a huge benefit.
Well, best of luck in Hoover. Safe travels, and I'll enjoy watching it again. I'll probably have more fun watching it than you there in the dugout. Is it more stressful there in the dugout than it is holding a bat there, facing down like the likes of a Nolan Ryan, if you will? I don't know if you've ever faced Nolan Ryan back in the day, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Is it more stressful in the dugout?
It's much more stressful watching. When you're actually getting to do something, you feel like you got a little control over it.
Randy Johnson.
You got any control.
Did you face Randy Johnson back in the day?
I actually did not. I faced Roger Clemens. I faced Pedro Martinez. I faced Greg Maddux, John Smoltz. Never faced Randy. Praise the Lord. I do not desire to face Randy Johnson.
Coach, I can't thank you enough for the time. Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all.
That's Coach Gabe Gross. Never faced Randy Johnson.
Those guys he did face were pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So Auburn, the 6th seed, and they will once again, this sounds weird to say, they'll take on the winner of LSU and Oklahoma. LSU is the 14 seed,
That's unbelievable.
Out of 16 teams.
Yeah, I mean, but they had a really good team last year, so
Yeah, they deserve a mulligan.
But I'll tell you, they're not going to be happy there if they don't make the. They'll be
if they're one and done.
Yes, very unhappy.
Shockers of all shockers, news out of Big Ten Media Days is that the coaches are for 24 teams in a college football playoff. Who knew? Who knew? The one and only Jordy Armin is on deck. Let's go ahead and take a timeout. Get Jordy in here, and we'll hear from the man, the myth, the legend, Jordy Armin, next here on this Monday edition of The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and this month at Lynn Layton Ford, we've got employee pricing for everyone. Plus 5.9 for up to 84 months with zero doc fees or no hidden markups. That's right, employee pricing plus 5.9 for up to 84 months, no doc fees or hidden markups. With your good credit, lease a 26 F-150 STX for $399 a month for 36 months with only $3,000 due at signing. Lease a 26 Explorer Active for $399 a month for 36 months, $3,000 due at signing. Or how about a new Bronco Big Ben 4x4? $485 a month for a 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. We've got employee pricing for everyone, plus 5.9 for 84, and no doc fees or hidden markups. Come see us at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford Country, just a mile south of the Beltline in Decatur, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All leases are with a zero security deposit, 10,500 miles a year. Offer ends 5/31/26. See us for the details.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
This summer, we make HVAC history as Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation celebrates our country's 250th birthday. Happy birthday, America! In honor of crossing the Delaware River and kicking Cornwallis out of Yorktown, Sensagreen now offers $1,776 off new HVAC systems. Give me Liberty and a new HVAC smart system this summer at Sensagreen with Bryant. Whatever it takes, just like our founding fathers. USA! USA! USA!
Alabama license number 12705, flash 52808.
The LG software team brings you Bamboo HR. Bamboo streamlines everything from hiring to offboarding and eliminating manual HR tasks.
With Bamboo, our customers have saved time, stay organized, and keep employees happier with a seamless HR experience.
This is unique to Huntsville and Birmingham, and I urge you to ask about it.
Just ask anyone.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
I'm Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
more during the show now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, I hear one of them through the wall.
Yeah. That's Wes. I'm Steve. That's Brian. Now Drew has entered
going 4 wide.
The domicile. J.R. Ritchie on the mound tonight for the Braves. We will join that game in progress, taking on the Fish down there in Miami. There was more people at the World Baseball Classic than have attended the Marlins games collectively.
Crazy, man.
It is. It is.
I keep waiting for them and Tampa to both relocate.
Gosh, it is something. All right, Big Ten spring meetings going on. No great shocker that the Big Ten coaches are pushing for a 24-team playoff field. Although I actually got a little encouragement, I want to say. Well, we got it a little late last week in the ACC meetings with the commissioner, Jim Phillips, who put it out there that ESPN does not want more than 14.
14? Wow. I would have thought you were going to say 16.
No, 16 max, not more than 14, but that really goes to their contract and what they already have in place, in theory, till 2032.
Oh.
So, but I say all of that to say Josh Pate had this to say earlier today.
But I have spoken up a lot about college football playoff expansion because I think my voice does matter, and yours does too. And the feedback I've gotten and the people that I have spoken with, and there have been a bunch of them over the past week and a half to 2 weeks, the cumulative effect of those conversations has led me to come here tonight and tell you this in this microphone. Keep making noise because it's making an impact. If there's one thing that the decision makers in this sport hate, it's their face being on a topic in a movement this unpopular because they've never been there before. When it's come to playoff expansion, which they sold to you in years past as being done for the betterment of the game, even though it was really just a license to print money, previously you supported it. The public supported this in probably a supermajority type scale. They don't. They don't. You can disagree out there whether it's a 1090 issue or a 2080 issue. I don't care. It's the most unpopular major initiative that I've ever seen taken in college football since I've done this. It is wildly unpopular.
So that is Josh Pate. And all of a sudden, he once again doubled down on the noise is affecting at least those that are pounding the table for 24 teams. And by the way, some of those includes the AFCA. Among them include a couple of SEC coaches on the board there in the AFCA, including Clark Lee and some guy named Kirby Smart.
Well, I mean, look, Matt Moscona, made some great points and makes a case for 24, but I'd much rather see 16. I think 24 is too watered down, and again,
completely.
And I think
12 is watered down.
Well, you can even make that argument, but I just think, I like, and Wes has made this point before.
Well, we've gone through one season of now that we rejiggered that initial 12.
Well, I'm talking about
one true season, I like to think.
Agreeing with Wes about the Gruden model, which would keep the championship games and then
add 5 games.
Add 5 games. And
total of 10 teams that would be play-in weekend.
Yeah.
Right. Then you do a 12-man playoff, and that's enough. I mean, you think about it. So that's involving really
this is giving these other people a
17 extra games. I mean, there'll be really 17 teams.
Yeah.
Just they won't make the playoffs. They'll play one extra game.
It's like it's
a play-in
tournament
instead of a playoff.
Expanding the first 4.
Yes,
is what Wes is basically talking about, and then maybe it'll give some of these teams that are fringe playoff teams a chance to play their way into the bracket.
Right.
Most of the time they'll still get smoked, but still you.
But I mean, you look at like Miami playing Notre Dame again.
Yeah,
that made sense.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
They're the two. They were the two. Yeah. Miami was the last team in. And almost won it all. Was one play away from winning it all.
That's right.
So I mean, that to me is I thought the playoffs this year were better than they were the first year, for whatever reason.
They were better seated, I thought.
Yeah, because that might be why it was better. The first year was awful.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch some of the second round games were horrible.
Yep.
And you could tell the talent level on some of these teams. Were fourth or fifth in the Southeastern Conference. And I would argue Texas Tech would have had 3 to 4 losses
At what point,
more.
At what point, though,
question.
are we going to start having a real conversation about the James Madisons and Tulanes of the world?
Well, we talked about this a little last week. I think they need to once again separate and have a group of 6 playoff to give them a legitimate chance to compete for some kind of championship. Because I know they want the money, but
Well, they're going to lose the money, though, because they make their money, Drew, going to play other teams. Tulane's making a killing right now.
Oh.
Because of all the money they're getting by playing Southeastern Conference schools, ACC schools.
which they still could in the regular season. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but it would be very limited based on the 9-game schedule, and then all of a sudden, why would you play those games if you're getting money from a championship?
I know one question
much money
you have had is about the monetary part of it, specifically for the SEC. I did read the contract between Disney, the Walt Disney Company, and the CFP. Now, the deal that is currently in place till 2032, the deal is, the way it's written, significant revenue for major conferences with an extra bump for all Big Ten and SEC teams. Now, it's combined 29% of the pool, approximately $22 million per school that actually makes the CFP. So I know that was a question that you had, Wes, in particular, money-wise.
Anybody makes the playoffs is
$22 million. And that the SEC football championship game produces revenue of around $150 million when you add in the television contract.
That ain't going away.
So that's why.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been saying the whole time. There's no way they should do that then.
You never listen to the Little 10.
No.
So the opposite side of the coin is Joel Klatt. He had this to say earlier today.
Who cares? Go ahead.
Do you want me to play this or not?
We used to have the Pac-8, and then it was the Pac-10, and then it was the Pac-12, and then it was gone. It was the Pac-2, and now it's the Pac-12 again. And the Big Ten was 10, and then 11, and then how many teams now? 18 teams in the Big Ten. College football has always changed. It's always evolved, and it's always going to continue to evolve. All right. We may have fallen in love with the sport at a given time, and we may think nostalgically that time was the absolute best. And you might be right. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but this sport changes and it evolves. And we know that. This might be the direction that it goes, and it might not. I'm not sure. But right now, it seems like it's heading in that direction.
And that is the inevitable conversation that I've heard quite a bit of, be it podcasts or reading columns, that this inevitability factor of, well, if it's not going to be 24 now, it will eventually be 24.
Well, I think the people with the money are saying no. So it doesn't matter what Joel Klatt thinks or hears or this or that. It doesn't matter. And I've been saying that the whole time while we've been going through this rigmarole, that everybody, there's momentum. There's no momentum. It's all about the
ACC coaches, the Big Ten coaches.
Well, they all make these storylines and try to make them true.
But then Mario Cristobal comes out and says 24 is too many.
Well, it doesn't matter what Mario Cristobal thinks. The Mickey Mouse says we don't want that many, and they're the one paying for it.
Well, and they're also because if it goes beyond 14, they lose control of their contract. And that this is Fox versus ESPN. Welcome.
Basically, it's the Big Ten versus
Fox versus ESPN.
Yeah, so now you see what's really happening.
Yep. Bama Chris has called in. You can call in too at 256-576-4977. How are you, Bama Chris?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing well.
Hey, you talk about watering down the field at 12, 16, 24 teams, what have you. But when we had a 4-team playoff, how many times were the semifinals blowout? Quite often.
Yeah.
I mean,
fair.
they were watered down then. Even when before the playoff in the BCS championship, there were quite a bit of blowouts.
Well, I agree with that. But, you had Alabama, as Kirby Smart said, had some of the best teams ever put together during that time frame. And now that's not the case. I mean, all these teams have weaknesses, whether that be maybe not whether it's starting 22, but when you get about 35, then it becomes an issue. So you're going to find a hole. So they ought to be more competitive if they put strength of schedule in there like they did last year. The year before, even though Texas Tech was 70-something, I think that's where everybody misses the boat. And, if you don't play anybody and you have one loss.
How big of a factor is strength of schedule?
Yeah, I mean, that has to be way up there. And if you do that, the games will be better.
Yeah, I missed that. You do have not the ability to build as much depth as you did before in Saban's dynasty. So there probably is more parity now, but there definitely does need to be something for strength of schedule. I don't think you should be able to do like Boise State used to do, and maybe play one good team every season and end up in a quality game. But yeah. Thanks for the call, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey,
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
256-576-4977. This inevitable conversation may not be so inevitable of whether or not 12 in particular, I thought worked last year. I did. I mean, I thought we had some decent matchups. Yes, we still got the blowouts that we kicked over to TNT with the Oregon game. That was brutal to watch. That game against James Madison, that wasn't a game halfway through the first quarter.
No, it wasn't. And, we were talking about it on Talking Ball this morning. If they had a 24-team playoff last year, Alabama would have played North Texas. Joy to the world. So, I mean, and it's like I told Scott, the problem with the 24-team playoff is teams like that get in, and most of the time their head coach, if they get in, the head coach is probably going to get hired away by another school.
Yeah.
And then the head coach may stay with said school to save face, but you're going to get smashed.
Happened at Tulane.
Yeah, because John Summerall didn't have the horses to beat Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I mean, he's about to at Florida, in my opinion, and may he beat Lane Kiffin every time he play coaches against him.
Not this year.
Yeah, no. Well, unless they meet in the SEC championship game, certainly. But yeah, I mean, I just think it would be too watered down. And Wes makes a point. You could even say that for 16, but. As soon as they voted in this 12-team playoff, everybody started talking about 16, even before they got done with 1 year of 12.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
well, when you're splitting it up 18 ways, you're going to want to play more games.
That pie's getting thinner and thinner.
Yeah. Well, but football is just so much different than basketball, though, too. I mean, there's just I do think there's a gulf between the teams, and that's why I think, allowing a team like Tulane or North Texas or whatever to compete for an actual championship is better than getting brained and getting beat 50-0 or whatever. Of course, I understand part of it is money, and they have to pay their players.
A large part of it
with NIL, but that's another reason why NIL needs to be relegated because again, eventually a lot of these schools are going to have to start cutting athletic programs. I am glad to hear last week that Arkansas reinstated men's and women's tennis, but it still creates a lot of problems because of the payrolls where you're having to, because there's no cap, and then paying one player $4, $5, $6, even to $10 million, however much Mensa's making. I mean, his journey is crazy because when John Summerall got to Tulane a couple of years ago, he was third string. Nobody knew who he was. He came out of nowhere to beat out a couple of transfer portal guys that were more high profile. He had a really good year. Coach Summerall, they had NIL but couldn't pay him what Duke offered. They offered him like $3 million. He goes
now
to Duke.
Now he's Miami.
And now he's at Miami making some absurd amount of money.
Yep.
I mean, it's just nuts.
The Carson Beck deal.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's bothering me. I don't understand this Texas Tech deal where they signed the quarterback from
Cincinnati.
From Cincinnati, who already was under contract.
Yep.
He's fighting. The lawyers. He's about to learn.
That's the breaking news today. Is he's suing the NCAA
because he bet on his own team. Did you know that?
Yeah.
When he was at Indiana, I think
he needs to be thrown out. Period.
He's Art
in the
Schleicher
story.
II.
They should.
Didn't we get rid of Pete Rose for that?
Yeah, I mean, and he's suing, saying it's not right. He's facing a lawsuit from Cincinnati from leaving for Cincinnati.
That's right, which I think Cincinnati has every right to do.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, of course. They paid him and he left.
Yeah.
No services rendered there. Then I just can't believe that he's suing the NCAA saying he didn't do anything wrong. Where are we?
You can sue anybody for anything in this day and age.
I hope that gets thrown out quick.
I would hope so.
Art Schleicher Jr. should never play another down of college football.
The people that I trust are telling me that he's probably going to get drafted in the NFL supplemental draft.
Who is going to draft somebody that bet on his own game?
Well, these NFL franchises the Jets are kind of crazy.
They're not going to draft him.
Welcome to a post-truth America. You just sue to get your way. That's where we are. I mean, they.
Thanks, Joe.
They've and it's before him. You know the truth don't matter anymore. Yeah.
Well, I cannot believe that somebody bet on his own team
and is suing the NCAA to get reinstated.
I mean, this dude was betting on balls and strikes at a major league game.
Now, if you really want to put a smile on your face like I have currently, think about whether or not had he gone to LSU. Because that's who Lane wanted right out of the gate was Sorsby.
Oh, he went after
Could
him
you
hard.
imagine?
Well,
There's already a level of just insaneness in Baton Rouge right now. Goodness gracious.
That shows you right there that Lane can't develop quarterbacks. He's just trying to go after in his mind, the best player to plug into his offense because he's a good play caller.
Well, I kind of going to disagree with you that because Lane Kiffin took a running back.
Yeah, he was.
And he won the Southeastern Conference with a running back.
Did a great job calling plays.
I mean, how do you develop a running back, you know?
And have we heard from Blake Sims since?
We haven't heard from Jake Coker either. He tried to bench Jake Coker.
Well, he did bench Jake Coker, but
for Cooper Bateman.
Yes, that happened. That happened.
That's right.
We won't talk about the other thing that actually happened either.
Well, what other thing? Which other thing?
7-on-7? Are we talking a little 7-on-7?
I think it's more 7-on-1.
I'll just say Mercedes is all I'll say.
There was an idea that I thought wasn't awful, but where it comes from matters. I'll have that for you coming up next here on The Drive. If you'd like to call in, you can certainly do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline at 256-576-4977.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and this month at Lynn Leighton Ford, we've got employee pricing for everyone. Plus 5.9 for up to 84 months with zero doc fees or no hidden markups. That's right, employee pricing plus 5.9 for up to 84 months, no doc fees or hidden markups. With your good credit, lease a 26 F-150 STX for $399 a month for 36 months with only $3,000 due at signing. Lease a 26 Explorer Active for $399 a month for 36 months, $3,000 due at signing. Or how about a new Bronco Big Ben 4x4? $485 a month for a 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. We've got employee pricing for everyone, plus 5.9 for 84, and no doc fees or hidden markups. Come see us at Lynn Leighton Ford, right in the heart of Ford Country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnleightonford.com. All leases are with a zero security deposit, 10,500 miles a year. Offer ends 5/31/26. See us for the details.
Hi, folks. I'm Brent Woodall. The Alabama Public Service Commission has failed to keep electricity rates low for too many Alabamians. We found out a few months ago that Alabama has the third highest electric rates in the country. That's why I'm running for Public Service Commission Place 2 to get rates low again. I'm asking for your vote on May the 19th.
Paid for by the Committee to elect Brent Woodall. P.O. Box 740594, Tuscumbia, Alabama 35674.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back for 6 games, May 19th through the 24th. Promotions include Tail Wagging Tuesday on the 19th, halfway to Halloween night with a cash costume contest on the 22nd, and Harry Potter weekend closes out the homestand on the 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets and learn more about our weekly promos by visiting tptix.com.
Let's rock it.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years, and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
The ultimate golf experience is waiting for you at the Golfus. For a limited time, you can get an unlimited membership for only $99 a month. Hit balls on the range, play any of our 2,000 golf courses, have a graduation party, or host a corporate event. For all the details, go to thegolfus.com. We have 2 locations in Huntsville and a location soon coming to Hughes Road in Madison. That's thegolfus.com.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 weather impact meteorologist Emily Owen. A quiet night expected across the Tennessee Valley for this Monday night. We'll see low temperatures fall into the upper 60s for the overnight. Heading into our Tuesday, partly sunshines in the forecast with another warm afternoon. High temperatures soaring back into the low 90s. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms could be possible.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Swung on, rocketed, left center field. That's going to get down and go to the wall. Montanelli at first. He's on his way to second, and he'll pull in. There's the first ever cycle in Trash Pandas history.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
It is a Monday edition of The Drive. Only day that we're going to be on, weather permitting, due to SEC baseball. 256-576-4977. Pizza Larry has called in. How are you, Pizza Larry?
Hey, Steve. Hey, Wes. Hey, Drew.
Hey, how are you, Pizza Larry?
Good. Thank you. I think we're going to expand, and I'm not saying we absolutely should, but I think 16 seems to be the sweet spot for me. For 2 reasons. One, it doesn't expand the playoffs by a week.
Right.
You keep the same number of weeks. And 2, it gets rid of those ridiculous buys.
Yeah.
That's just my thought on it, is that you can make the buys go away and not extend the playoffs a week.
That was part of the solution from the AFCA, was to eliminate one of the buys. And
yeah, I think you can get rid of all 4 of them. You're even better off. But yeah, you can get any of them you can get rid of, it'd be better.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure some of the schools that get in the buys would rather play that week and play the teams that the other teams that they're going to have in there because they're not going to be any good. I mean,
I want a tune-up game after that break. They have whatever break that is after your conference championship with number 16. sharp.
But they could actually play 5 more games on championship weekend, which would be
10 teams.
Would be 10 teams to help the people to get in.
Now I really hadn't really heard much about that, and this is the first time I've had it actually explained to me, and that makes a lot of sense too. I just haven't had the time to.
Well, I'm stealing it from Gruden, and Gruden was said, "Well, how fair is it for, Miami not to be playing on that weekend and getting to rest when the other teams are playing, and how that that the teams that didn't make, I mean."
I think he had Oklahoma and Texas playing again.
Yeah. I mean,
Now that part I like, because you could make some of those, especially those teams, Miami, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Texas, Vanderbilt, and whoever that were on the bubble,
yeah, and
they could play their way in.
I would love that. That makes sense. I mean, that would take a lot of the guesswork out of it, especially if you had, we find out Texas Tech would have to play a good team. They just
not just BYU over and over and over and over.
Yeah, and they beat BYU. Who did BYU beat? They didn't play anybody either.
One good team, and they didn't score a point against them in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, exactly. They got to be 23-0.
And it wasn't that close.
Somebody worse than Art Sleester.
It wasn't close at all. But you're right. Teams like Miami and Ole Miss got a big break by being able to sit home on.
While Georgia and Alabama are playing.
Yeah,
I mean, knocking Alabama's beat up already. Georgia was too. Georgia lost their center, and so I just think that would make more sense than anything. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but Gruden though. I will say that I haven't heard that suggested by anybody.
Right.
And I know that
to get some traction, he might have should have whispered it to somebody else and let them float the idea.
Right. Well, I think they'll pick up on it. It makes too much.
Coach at the highest level. I mean, I think they need to have some coaches on these committees. To be honest with you,
Gruden, I absolutely respect John Gruden as the coach, and
right.
And I don't know what's going. I'm not going to voice an opinion on any of the other background scattered on him, but his voice does have some baggage attached to it. Rightfully or wrongfully,
Well, he made somebody mad at the NFL. Level.
And they made him pay for it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So, but if we could do that, and that way the teams with a 70 strength of schedule has to play a team with a real strength of schedule, and then if they beat them, then they deserve to be in there. I wouldn't say anything at that point.
Yeah.
But they're unproven, in my opinion. You win 1 or 2 games, so what? And then you play all patsies the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Indiana, I mean, not to say that Indiana did not deserve what they
just got better.
But I'm just saying.
But I'm telling you, if you don't have a turnover all year, you don't fumble the ball once all year.
It was a magical season. Everything went right.
No question.
Yeah, I mean, you see that in the NFL all the time. Teams that are on the flip side live off of creating, an unnatural number of turnovers, and the next year they come back to the norm and they're not.
Yeah.
They're not,
Yeah, the NFL tries to level out the schedule.
Pizza Larry. Same things win that have always won. Only the excuses change.
Appreciate the phone call, sir. 1 hour in the books. The ACC commissioner, what he had to say about tiebreakers next.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and this month at Lynn Leighton Ford, we've got employee pricing for everyone. Plus 5.9 for up to 84 months with 0 doc fees or no hidden markups. That's right, employee pricing plus 5.9 for up to 84 months, no doc fees or hidden markups. With your good credit, lease a 26 F-150 STX for $399 a month for 36 months with only $3,000 due at signing. Lease a 26 Explorer Active for $399 a month for 36 months, $3,000 due at signing. Or how about a new Bronco Big Ben 4x4? $485 a month for a 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. We've got employee pricing for everyone, plus 5.9 for 84, and no dock fees or hidden markups. Come see us at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All leases are with a 0 security deposit, 10,500 miles a year. Offer ends 5/31/26. See us for the details.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter. I'm Nick DeLuca, closing in on Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. The Thunder and the Spurs have been the best two teams in the NBA for the last couple of months. Thunder finished the regular season 19-1, have continued with an 8-0 start to the playoffs with back-to-back sweeps in the first two rounds. The Spurs went 30-3 to close the regular season. Wemby SGA, tip 8:30 Eastern coverage beginning at 8 Eastern right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Pelicans are hiring former Magic coach Jamal Mosley as their next head coach. The two sides agreeing to a 5-year deal today. Mosley spent the past 5 seasons with Orlando, reaching the playoffs in each of the last 3. All were first-round exits. Was fired after the Magic's Game 7 loss to the Pistons in Round 1. NFL Spring League meetings beginning tomorrow. Minnesota, the likely host for the 2028 NFL Draft, pending owner voting approval. Organizers led by the Minnesota Sports and Events Commission submitted a bid in March for the event. This year's draft in Pittsburgh drew a record 805,000 fans across 3 days. Nashville, meanwhile, expected to be named the host city for Super Bowl 64 in 2030, pending approval of league owners as well. Elsewhere, Brendan Sorsby looking to return to college football. Texas Tech QB filed for an injunction against the NCAA seeking eligibility for the 2026 season. Sorsby checked into treatment for a gambling addiction.
Looking for the flavor of a whiskey without the alcohol? Try RK Zero Proof. 0 alcohol, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 calories. Learn more at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, the spirit without the alcohol.
Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hour number 2 rolls along. Shout out to SEC softball. Goodness gracious. Alabama did not allow a run to score in their regional.
Yep, no runs, only 5 hits.
9 SEC teams to the Supers for the second straight year. And this is a tournament that's coming to Madison in 27. Also, a big shout out to the UAH Chargers.
Man, they're on fire all of a sudden, man.
So the Bats have woken up in a big way in Pensacola. A walk-off home run for Chris Madden.
Yeah.
And walked it off as the Chargers won it. And what is the final Division II whatever for West Florida?
Well,
5-4 was that final.
Scott and I were we were channeling our inner Les Studeman this morning, and we said, well, it was great to have a replay, and they were some rematches, and just let's replay half of the Gulf South Conference tournament and give UAH another shot. And they go 3-0.
And now they head into the Supers to take on St. Leo,
who they did not play in the regular season.
They did not. But congratulations for making the Sweet 16. And I tell you, with those arms that they do have.
Most of the damage was done by Katie Bracken, but they have a 1-2 punch there.
Yep. And Megan Schertz is the other one from Bob Jones High School.
And they used her in relief, in game 2. But Katie Bracken threw an 8-inning complete game
right out of the gate. It was a shutout.
And the first game was a 4-0 shutout, correct? And so Katie Bracken, and by the way, she'll be joining Talking Ball at 8 a.m.
There
on
you
Wednesday.
go. Nice.
So, the day before their journey gets started against St. Leo. And, Coach Studeman used to always tell us that the Gulf South Conference was far and away the toughest softball in Division II.
Here we go.
And now we'll get that litmus test as UAH was only the 6th seed in the Gulf South Conference, but
when I went,
still playing.
When I went out and about this weekend, Wes, I know you were traveling a good bit, but I did not see PGA Championship. I saw a little Major League Baseball. It was softball. Everywhere I was turning, it was softball on television.
I watched the PGA Championship.
Did you?
I watched a lot of the final round. It was quite exciting.
Yes. He was that guy was playing amazing.
Aaron Rye, not Adam. Called him Adam this morning, felt bad about it. But Aaron Rye.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the hell he was. I was trying to see if Justin Thomas had a chance to win because he got in at 5 under and was having to wait.
Yeah, I was watching, yeah.
And then admitted afterwards that he drove an hour and a half down the road and was having beers with a friend of his and said it wouldn't have been good if I was in the playoff, probably.
Nice.
Maybe that's why he hadn't been doing so hot lately.
I don't know. I just
overcame a 2-shot deficit entering the final round to win his first major championship.
On 17 of 70 feet.
I was pulling for Justin. I was yelling "Miss it Noonan," but it never didn't work at all.
Did not watch hardly any.
Man, that guy
of the PGA Championship.
He made an incredible putt.
70 feet on 17.
Did he really?
And he shot 31 on the back 9.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's scorching.
I mean, it looked like he was only on, it looked like it was going to be a good match, and he just ran away with it. Then.
I mean, Aaron, don't call me Adam Rye from England via India.
One other story that I wanted to bring up for you. By the way, San Antonio and OKC tonight. That is your unofficial NBA Finals.
Yeah,
tonight.
The one that everybody's interested in.
OKC, by the way, a 6.5 point favorite, but we'll see.
It's down to 6.5. It was 7.5 this morning.
It's on NBC.
No, I take that back. 7.5 was the New York Knicks, the perennial runner-up. Who will?
I kind of like the Cavs in that series.
Well, we'll see. Certainly, the Pistons weren't ready for Game 7. I can tell you that.
No, they were not.
I mean, I thought they were going to pull a rabbit out of the hat like they did against the Magic in Game 7, and they just got trounced.
Game 6. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it was an exact reversal. I mean, they win by 20, does Detroit at Cleveland. I'm thinking, okay, they're winning this series, and then they turn around and lose by 30 on their home. I've never seen so many blowouts in the playoffs where teams just say, we didn't bring the energy. It's called the playoffs, guys.
One other story I wanted to bring up comes from ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips, which I don't think he has a bad idea, but if you consider what just happened in the ACC championship game with Duke beating Virginia, what do you think of this idea? Jim Phillips has proposed adopting a uniform common tiebreaker system across all major college football conferences.
Why would they have to adopt his ACC? The guy, it's one of the worst conferences in the country.
Next thing you know, they'll put a clause in where Notre Dame gets whatever they want.
Well, they pretty much have already done that for this year. All you have to be is 12th in the country, and you're in.
That's one of my biggest regrets.
I mean, the idea isn't awful to me, but the realistic part of it, because all these conferences do not even have the same number of schools.
Well, this is the tiebreaker who's he's wanting a tiebreaker.
Well, the ACC has changed their tiebreaking rules because of what happened last December.
That doesn't mean everybody else has to. Everybody else is happy.
I got news for Jimmy. Notre Dame wouldn't have won it either.
You want to talk to Jimmy right now? I reached out to Jimmy. I've yet to hear from his handler.
Notre Dame wouldn't have won it anyways. And they have an easy schedule this year. I know they're going to get in, but somebody beat them. That's all I'm asking. You know what I'm saying?
They don't play Miami again, do they?
I haven't.
I thought they opened up. With
all I keep hearing is how easy their schedule is. I don't even like looking at the logo, so I haven't studied it.
Hang on. I'm going to bring it up here for you. the Notre Dame Irishman schedule for 2026.
Right.
Let's see here. Open up against Wisconsin in the Shamrock Series at Lambeau Field.
Right.
Then host Rice, Michigan State, at Purdue, at North Carolina.
So Michigan State and Purdue are predicted to be the two worst teams. Rutgers is ahead of Purdue.
You're not wrong.
That's bad.
I said at Purdue, at North Carolina, host Stanford, at BYU, then a bye week. Got to get ready for Navy. At Navy.
Come on, midshipman.
Host Miami.
Let's see. There you go.
November the 7th.
They go to Texas A&M.
Host Boston College. SMU they host. And at Syracuse. So no. They're done. It was the previous 2 years.
Yeah, they played. Yeah, that's right.
A&M lost at Notre Dame and beat the Irish last year on their home field.
Yeah. So there you go.
There's your gauntlet of a schedule for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
So even if they lose to Miami, they're still getting in.
So they don't play USC anymore?
Come on, North Carolina.
Say USC?
No,
USC, no.
They're having a conversation with USC. That's if 24 teams gets implemented. That's the speculation, is that if 24 teams gets the stamp, that we'll get these better games that are being taken away at the moment. For whatever that's worth. SEC baseball tournament is going to take over our airwaves in a big, big way here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Georgia ends up as your number one overall seed. Texas A&M, then Alabama as the 4 seed. And the Crimson Tide have finally cleaned up a little bit of those errors.
They played a clean weekend. If they can play a clean postseason, they'll give themselves a chance to make a run in Hoover and to host a regional and maybe even host a super.
You don't think they were already hosting?
I think they're very, very close. We talked to Mark Etheridge, my long-lost cousin, today, and on the show of D1Baseball.com, and inside joke there. But
a little bit.
But he thinks Alabama is very close in their projections. As he called it their nerdcast last night, they had Alabama 6th, but there was a lot of teams jumbled. And so he was in agreement with me. It would behoove Alabama to lock it up, I think, to win the first game on Thursday. And I think Rob Vaughn will go to try to win the tournament and increase his seed. Because I asked Mark Etheridge, because we've always felt like the SEC basketball tournament either hurt you or didn't help you at all.
Yeah.
And Mark
large part of the bracket is usually set.
Mark Etheridge's opinion of the way they choose baseball is it can't hurt you, but it can only help you. And so Alabama would, if they win Thursday, they would get a day off Friday and play in the semifinals on Saturday.
Weather permitting.
Alabama has not won this thing since 2003. And so Rob Vaughn, I think, will go all in. And because of the double bye, Alabama can set up their pitching, Steve. If they choose to, they can almost treat it like an SEC weekend, and they could start their number one, Tyler Fay, and they will get either Florida, Vanderbilt, or Kentucky. And basically Vanderbilt and Kentucky tomorrow, in my opinion, is an elimination game.
It is.
Mark Etheridge feels like Kentucky could still get in.
That's game 2 tomorrow.
But I'm not sure Kentucky will get in if they lose. I think they need to win that game, and Vanderbilt needs to probably win 2 or 3. Because their RPI is in the 70s. So they did not play a tough schedule.
No. It begins with Ole Miss and Missouri. That's followed by Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Then the evening session, why we will not be on, is Tennessee and South Carolina. And it wraps up with Oklahoma and LSU. Winner of that game will take on the Auburn Tigers.
Bizarro, man. LSU 9-21.
Crazy, isn't
it?
The
SEC. And they held out their 2 top pitchers for this tournament. They're going to go all in, and they're going to try to win 5 games in 6 days.
Well, you heard Coach Gross talking about the LSU formula.
Yeah, and I'm sure Gabe, that staff is probably almost expecting to get LSU in on Wednesday because they're going all in for this game. And Oklahoma comes in not playing very well, honestly.
So why has LSU struggled so much this year? Weren't they supposed to be
Their
one of the top teams?
Yeah, pitching injuries is a big factor.
And their portal class was as good as some of the University of Alabama's last year, which some of them weren't very good.
So missed.
Yeah, there were some misses.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah.
But Bama being a 4 seed, I'd argue maybe it really depends how other tournaments shake out a little bit. But Bama's already done the work that I think in terms of hosting a regional.
Yeah. I think they're in good shape. I think they're going to host the first round for sure.
Supers, the next.
But it's the top 8 national seed. And all the projections, I see them in the top 8, and they have the RPI in the top 10 and the schedule strength in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But again, last year they were basically the 17th seed,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they had to go to Southern Miss. So if you want to have both of them on your campus, which that hasn't happened since 2006, which was Jim Wells' last SEC championship team, which ironically was on campus with the 96 SEC championship team. Both of them, and that team went to Omaha. Both of those teams had reunions this weekend on Saturday when Alabama certainly took care of Ole Miss, and I may have cost Ole Miss a chance to host unless the Rebels can make a deep run in Hoover. And they're going to have to beat Missouri. They're in as a 2 no matter what, but they need to beat Missouri at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow and then continue to win.
Coming up on the other side will be Braves baseball, where it looks like there's more dogs than people.
Well, you must be bringing your dog to the game.
No, it's Bark at the Park.
Oh, yeah. There's been a little they're stuck in the top of the second inning right now. I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Some challenge?
I was listening to Ben Ingram. I know what's happened. The home plate umpire got hit in the face.
Yeah,
with a foul ball.
going like this. Yeah, I was going to say something happened to the
He's got some pain in his jaw and his right ear, so he's going off. They've pulled the third base umpire. He's going to take over home plate, and they're going to go with a 3-man crew.
Oh, okay. I thought they usually had a guy on standby, too.
Well, they're certainly not going to pull anybody out of the stands.
So they call this what now?
They're going to go with a 3-man crew. There's not going to be a third base umpire.
So what do they call what's the name of the game you said?
Bark at the Park.
Bark at the Park. Bark at the Park.
It ought to be watch your step.
Or heck, we could just.
Well, that's true.
Hey, we could all just channel our inner Ozzy Osbourne and bark at the moon here.
I was just sitting here looking, thinking of the words of Harry Carey. Lots of fans disguised as empty seats.
I mean, I'll bring back a flash from Wes Neighbors' senior year at Huntsville High School. At least I think it was. I don't want to date him here, but I was thinking of when Ashton Crowther was coming in to close the game for Alabama on Saturday. It was perfect. I was like, his walk-up song should be Mr. Crowley from Ozzy Osbourne. Almost sounds like it. That was 1981 Blizzard of Oz.
Yeah.
See, he knows more than just sports.
Yes.
So anyway, when we get back underway, I'm happy because they're piling around showing all the dogs. But get back underway, they'll be still in the top of the second.
I'm assuming it was a foul tip or something to hit the
it was they just said foul ball. I've been listening to Ben Ingram off and on.
I saw him leaving with the trainer, and he was grabbing his jaw.
It looked like it smarted pretty hard. So
my son-in-law played.
Yeah, we've had him on.
And we need to have him on again. That was very.
So get him back on.
Yeah. So, but
what's his number? I'll call him up.
He knocked the ump out.
Did he?
I mean, yeah. But it wasn't from a foul tip. It bounced before it hit before the plate. And hit him right in the neck.
Oh.
And he was down. I thought he was dead.
And see, not all of them were that neck protector.
No, he didn't have a neck protector on.
I bet he got one now.
Today.
I bet he does now.
Well, I have my own story. I was coaching, back in the late 90s, I was coaching first base, in the summer.
You were coaching first base?
Yeah, I was, and keeping book.
Rudy Arman.
We had a kid from Sparkman. He ended up signing with Calhoun Community College, and he smoked a line drive right off my ankle. And I mean, no bounces, bro. I froze. It was coming right at me. There was no diving, no nothing. And I didn't go down. Everybody gave me kudos. They're like, I cannot believe you're not down on the ground. But I will say, to this day, when it's cold, I still feel it.
Yeah, because you didn't put ice on it and do all the things you did.
Yeah, I did not.
Got to rub it.
Well, what happens is...
Oh, his leg?
Oh, yeah. It's... Why are you scooting over here, Drew?
I'm not scooting. I mean, I was down and out the next day. I will say I woke up with a swollen ankle.
So when you get all that blood, it calcium deposits form. And then every time it gets cold, the muscle contracts. It hurts.
Well, and you got to do it. You got to flush out all that lactic acid.
Yes. Yeah.
Or else it'll just damage the muscle.
I honestly thought it was going to be broken, but it wasn't.
See, we're a couple of guys have dealt a lot with physical therapists, so we know what we're talking about.
All right, Braves and Marlins are scoreless in the top of the second. We'll join it in progress next.
Yeah, they're just getting underway now.
They are indeed. We'll have Braves baseball. Enjoy the SEC baseball tournament. The next time, more than likely, you're going to hear Wes and I will be at the beach for the SEC spring meetings.
That's fine. Drew and I'll be here.
Where it's supposed to be a big week next week. At least that's what some other writers.
We led the charge 2 years ago when all this started, and hopefully we'll be able to sort it out this time too.
Well, see, Steve, I know a lot of coaches come to those meetings too, man.
Yeah,
you can able to get here in a few days. You ought to just order you an Acme lie detector T-shirt and wear it when Lane Kiffin's around.
Martin Luther Kiffin.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a time out. Braves baseball is next.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.